What if the leadership model that you built your success on is the very thing that's breaking your culture today? So we have leaders who execute strategy at the highest level, but cannot consistently connect with their people. And that's a gap. It's costing organizations more than they even realize because you can produce, but you can't connect. And the results that you're looking for in your organization gets done through the hands of people. People require connection. So today we're not talking about theory, we're talking about the truth, the kind that changes how you lead and how you lead effectively. We're talking about authentic leadership. Welcome to Authentic Encounters, Lena Speaks. This is the podcast where we take executives and organizations from training to transformation, where we really do cut to the white meat and get to the real issues about effective, authentic leadership. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, authentic leadership. Let's jump in. Authentic leadership is leadership philosophy in which leaders are proven to be self-aware, transparent, and grounded, keyword grounded, in their values. Unlike traditional command and control models, authentic leadership creates psychological safety, it strengthens trust, improves employee engagement, and drives measurable organizational outcomes. And it does this consistently through leadership behaviors over time. Keyword is over time. This type of work does not happen overnight. This isn't about personality, it's about alignment. It's not about being liked, it's about being trusted. Authentic leadership answers the one core question: can your team predict how you will lead? Because unpredictability in leadership creates instability in culture. The two go hand in hand. The greatest leadership gap today is not technical skills, but self-awareness. Everything hinges on your ability to know how people are experiencing you. Organizations consistently promote high-performing leaders into leadership roles without equipping them to lead people. There should be a plan, a process in place about development as it relates to leadership and promotion. So when they do this and leaders are not equipped, it results in a disconnect between execution and connection. And because of that, it creates more confusion, inconsistency, and disengagement across teams and your overall organizational culture. Your culture is letting you know if you have elevated, prepared leaders or not. We've built leaders who know how to produce. Also built leaders that don't know how to lead. And that is what we talked about in last week's podcast, the silent promotion problem. Here's the conflict with that. People think they're leading effectively, but their teams are experiencing something different. Authentic leadership matters now more than ever because that's what people are looking for. And it is a strategic advantage in today's evolving workplace because it builds trust, clarity, and psychological safety in these environments that are being shaped so rapidly by change and AI integration. Leaders who operate authentically create stability in uncertainty. They enable teams to perform, adapt, and sustain high performance over time. Again, keyword over time. That means this is a process. And what we know is this: AI is accelerating decisions, but exposing leadership gaps. You can automate systems every day. That's great. But you cannot automate human trust. And when trust is missing, execution is impacted, innovation stalls, and culture is fractured. I'm called into organizations to work on those very things every day. And whether you know it or not, there is a cost to what we call inauthentic leadership. So you say, Lena, what is inauthentic leadership? Inauthentic leadership is something that is created and hidden in organizational cost. It includes things like misalignment, disengagement, communication breakdown, and reduced trust. So you can still be getting some measure of results, probably not the best results that you can get. And then when we look at long-term performance, it begins to decline. When we begin to compare the two, in the moment, it looks like we are excelling and leading effectively and the culture is growing, but the signs begin to show over time. So I've often said this and I will continue to say this. What leaders avoid, your organization will absorb. It will become a natural fabric operating in the background. And you really want to be intentional about how you're building that culture. It shows up in the silence in meetings, the lack of ownership. It shows emotional disconnection. People are like, are we leading humans here? Do we have a relationship? And most leaders miss it because they're measuring outcomes, not experiences. And the outcomes will yield small results, but the overall experience is what you really want to hear from your employees and your culture. So, authentic leadership is built on three foundational pillars. Self awareness is a non negotiable, relational transparency, and values based decision making. And if you don't know your values, how are you making those value based decisions? So it ensures that leaders operate with clarity, consistency, and intentionality. And this enables you to build trust, strengthen those relationships, and lead effectively, keyword effectively, across the complex organizational environments that you lead in. So, how do you actually show up under pressure? That's your level of self awareness you should be trying to explore. When it comes to relational transparency, are you clear or are your people interpreting you? Two different things because their interpretation may not be what you intended it to be. And then finally, your value based decisions. Are your decisions consistent or are they convenient? Because inconsistent leaders create inconsistent teams. If you want to know if you're effective or not and the type of teams that you are creating, look at your teams. If you want to know what kind of environment you have, look at your teams. So, authentic leadership requires intentional internal work. And that means you need to have some self reflection, be emotionally aware, and be accountable. So many leaders bypass this process because they only focus on the external performance, which results in unresolved leadership patterns that negatively impact communication, decision making, and team dynamics again over time. I really want to drill that point down is that we talk about transformation from training to transformation. It happens over time. So this is where leadership gets real, okay? Not in the boardroom, but internally. The questions most leaders avoid asking themselves are, where am I unclear? Where am I inconsistent? And where am I leading from pressure instead of purpose? See, avoidance doesn't remove the issue, it embeds it into your culture. And this is something you need help identifying and then working through. So, when we talk about going from training to transformation, authentic leadership development requires sustained application, reflection, and behavior change. A one time training, it increases awareness. It's good for that. It brings it to light, right? But transformation occurs only when leaders consistently apply new behaviors. Everybody say new behaviors. When they receive consistent quality feedback and when they intentionally align with their organizational and personal values. That's a lot to take on by yourself. And this is why authentic encounters exist because we're here to walk alongside you throughout this whole process. So, as I said, training gives awareness. That's great. But transformation requires repetition. This is the gap that most organizations miss. You cannot workshop your way into transformation. You just can't do it, right? It's a part of the plan, it's not the plan. This transformation requires practice, feedback, and accountability. So you say, Lena, you just said a lot. And, it's overwhelming to hear some of the things that you have just said. Well, if you're an executive, you can begin practicing authentic leadership by increasing one, your self awareness. First thing you need to do. Then you need to move on to clarifying your communication. What are your preferences? Is it effective or not? Right. And then ultimately aligning your daily leadership actions with your core values. If you don't know your identity as a leader, it is hard to lead from your core values. All you need to do is take small intentional shifts in your behaviors so it can create measurable improvements. I encourage executives to start small. One honest reflection, one clear conversation, one aligned decision. Leadership is not proven in what you intend, it's revealed in what you repeatedly do. So here's the truth about authentic leadership. It's not about comfort. It's probably the one of the most uncomfortable things you will do as a leader. But it is about clarity. It's not about being liked. Effective leaders don't generally win popularity contests, right? But it is about being trusted. And trust is built through consistency. You can keep leading the same way and manage those consequences. If you like it, I love it for you. Or you can lead with intention and change the outcomes and get to the desired culture, environments, and impressions that you desire to leave as an authentic leader. If anything I've said on this podcast today has challenged you, good. It's supposed to. That's why the company's called Authentic Encounters, right? Because awareness without action change, it does nothing for you. Now, you can say, I'm ready to make some steps, Lena, and assess where I'm at. And you can book a call with me. Or you can say, I need to diagnose where I'm at. So you can download the diagnostic attached to this podcast and on our website. Because at the end of the day, employees don't behave randomly. They respond to the leadership environment that you create. Until next Tuesday, go lead with clarity, purpose, effectiveness, and authenticity.